This week on Machinery Pete TV, some classic green is in ring one of this online Sullivan auction. A 1969 40-20 is in the middle of all the action. We'll get a close look at a pair of experimental internationals. And Pete has some examples of a smoking hot used tractor market.
Your machinery is a serious investment and at the heart of every farming operation. Some call it a passion. We're Machinery Pete TV, and today we'll cover everything from auction roundups to the classics to the latest trends and technology. Machinery Pete, the most trusted name in farm equipment.
Machinery Pete thanks these premier sponsors for their support. Sullivan Auctioneers. Let our team of professionals show you how to make your auction a success. Visit sullivanauctioneers.com. Hey, thanks for checking out Machinery Pete TV this week, folks. We appreciate your time. And I tell you what, we have a double treat today. First off, we're going to visit with my good friend Dan Sullivan with Sullivan Auctioneers. Always great fun to talk tractors with Dan. And today we're actually going to watch during their sale, their huge farmer dealer absolute auction, online sale. And we've got 3 John Deere tractors from 3 different decades. I think these all could be hot sellers. A restored 1969 John Deere 40-20, a 1990 4455. Of course, 4455s tend to be hot all the time. And then a 2008 John Deere 7730. So of course, pre-def, pre-tier 4, they've been really hot the last year and a half. But before we see how hot those 3 John Deere tractors are, we got to go back to the studio, catch up on the latest farm equipment news.
Thanks, Pete. I'm Clinton Griffiths. The emergency declaration put in place during the pandemic to help move certain supplies across the country will remain until well after the beginning of the year. The Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration extending the 50-state emergency declaration through the end of next February. That means many drivers will continue to be exempt from the hours of service rule. It limits truckers to 11 hours of drive time and 14 consecutive hours of on-duty time in any 24-hour period. That's important for livestock haulers trying to transport live animals safely. Economists say cropland values have surged by 15% in the Midwest and Plains. That's the highest gain since 2013. And the Kansas City Federal Reserve reporting relatively high commodity prices and low interest rates fueled the surge in the third quarter. The largest increases were in Iowa, where cropland values were up 28%, followed by Minnesota up 26% and South Dakota up 23%. Relief at the grocery store isn't coming anytime soon. That's according to Rabo Research's latest outlook for next year. Researchers say next year will bring fewer COVID-related disruptions, but it's highly unlikely food prices will go back down, adding that commodity prices are now supported by inflation, including higher shipping costs, higher input costs, as well as a labor shortage. A normalization of the whole supply chain next year seems unlikely. Looking at the impact of weather, they expect the drought we saw this summer to continue to expand. Now let's check on some recent auctions from around the country. That's it for news. Now back to your host, Machinery Pete.
Well, the average auction price on a John Deere 4455 tractor this year, folks, is up 37.2% compared to 2 years ago. Now, stick around. We're going to watch a really nice 1990 model sell 6,156 hours on it. Well, Dan, let's take a look at a beautiful loader tractor on the auction here, a 2008 John Deere 7730, only 599 hours on it, selling with a 746 loader. What a nice looking rig here.
It's a nice tractor, Pete, and with the traffic through here the last couple of days, as there always is right before the auction, there was a lot of interest in that. A lot of people stopping and asking questions about it. The low hours. To find a loader tractor, with that low of hours is kind of unheard of, because everybody uses loader tractors every day, and
Right.
that thing's sweet. It's been and had the best care and the documents to go with it. Just a really nice tractor.
Yeah, as I was looking at your at the sale list here, and by the way, there were like 3,000 items on the auction.
Yeah, it was one of the biggest August sales that we've had, and stuff come from all over the country. And now with it being online, there's a lot of items that are at off sites at other states and other locations. So it's just opened up kind of a whole new market out there to be able to put this many items out there for sale, and a record amount of bidders. So it's kind of, the stars are lining up for a really good sale here.
Yeah, and it as I was looking through the equipment list, Dan, this tractor in particular caught my eye just because what I've been seeing through the summer into the early fall, just the interest in the rising prices on nice condition low hour loader tractors like this. And again, about 600 hours here. What have you been seeing with demand for good condition loader tractors here in 2021?
Well, just to echo the same thing you're saying, Pete, it's you go online, go to Machine Repeat, and try to find a tractor of that caliber with that low of hours and the care for it. I mean, that tractor looks like it just came off the assembly line. And the rise in prices of equipment, the strong ag market out there, and again, everything checks the boxes for a really strong sale, and they're bidding on this thing pretty strong right now.
Well, Dan, my friend, Sullivan Auctioneers, you guys just set another record here by a mile. The tractor, the 7730, just sold for $148,000. Dan, that's the highest auction price I've ever seen on a 7730 by a ton. The next previous high was $120,500 6.5 years ago. So, hey, congratulations, 148. Okay, folks, if you love very nice 55 series tractors, we got a beauty for you here. A 1990 John Deere 4455. Dan, this thing's got 6,156 hours on it, power shift, second owner. Nice rig on your auction here today.
It is, Pete. It's a nice tractor. Come off a farm right over there in Iowa, over here in southeast Iowa. A nice family farm. The Oberman family is actually consigned that tractor, and it's just a clean stand-up tractor. Got a nice rack of weights on the front of it. Again, the owner's name and phone numbers right on the listing and the ads. And they were through the lot the other day, and I stopped and talked to Mike Oberman, the son, and he said, Dan, we've had calls all over the country on that. He said, my phone's been ringing off the hook. Of course, we have their name and phone numbers on there. And again, people like to hear the story. We've talked about that before, Pete, but it's going really strong here this morning. And in those 55 series tractors, we've watched a trend on those.
Yeah, I know when I was walking the lot day before the sale yesterday, Dan, I love the way you guys strategically position the tractors in your extensive line. You have all these late model tractors and combines. Had a nice little run of tractors from the kind of the 80s, 90s there. The 4455, it always stands out, doesn't it?
It sure does. I mean, again, that's what everybody's looking for. A second owner coming right off of the farm, transparent, clean, nice tractor with a good story behind it.
Yeah, and again, as we're talking here, Dan, again, the bids just keep flowing in. SullivanAuctioneers.com, folks. They get her done. $60,000 sale price on our 4455. That I mean, almost 6,200 hours, Dan, hit 60,000. That's shows you the demand out there. Here are a few more items that sold on today's sale.
Machinery Pete TV is brought to you by Kubota. Together, we do more.
Well, folks, the used tractor market in November of 2021, just unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. Good condition used tractors just skyrocketing in value. Now, let me give you a few examples from a few days in a row in the middle of the month. So, on Tuesday, November 16th, online farm auction by Sullivan Auctioneers in Brookston, Indiana, this 2012 John Deere 8310R with 2,150 hours on it sold for $241,000. That's a record high auction price, folks, by $11,000 over the previous record from over 8.5 years ago. Now, that same auction had this 2008 John Deere 8330, 2,742 hours on it, went for $188,000, second highest auction price ever on an 8330, highest in 7 years. Now, that actually the same day, November 16th, online farm estate auction out of Rhineland, Missouri, this 2006 Case IH MX 275 with 2,485 hours on it sold for $124,115. That sale was by our friends at Schneider Auctioneers, and that was the highest auction price on an MX 275 in 9 years. Now, the next day, Wednesday, November 17th, on an online farm retirement auction out of Pearlie, Minnesota by the Steffes Group, this 2013 Case IH Magnum 290, 1,547 hours on it, sold for $167,000. That's a record high by $6,000 over the previous record from 9 years ago. Now, the day after that, Thursday, November 18th, online farm retirement auction again by Sullivan Auctioneers, this time in Fairbury, Illinois. This 2012 Case IH Magnum 340, 1,752 hours on it, sold for $199,000. Yep, record price. Same sale had this 2014 Case IH Magnum 315, 1,377 hours on it, sold for $193,000. Again, record high auction price, this time by $9,000. So again, folks, good condition used tractors just like gold in November of 2021. Hey, welcome back to Tractor Tales, folks. This week we have a pair of internationals from my good friend Danny Anderson in Pine Island, Minnesota. He plans on restoring these and shipping them to Austria.
885 and a 485 are the models of them. There's no serial number plates on them because they're experimental, test tractors. These two tractors here are one of one ever built. They're tractors that International had built at the time of the merger with Case. They didn't go forward with these tractors. They would have been released in the fall of '85 with their new lineup. These tractors had been sitting there, and Case International donated these tractors to the University of Wisconsin River Falls, and they have been there ever since. And these tractors were just sold last October at an auction, and a friend of mine, an IH collector from Austria, bought these, and his name is Herbert Starzinger. And he is the owner of these two tractors now. And he contacted me last October and wanted to know if I could paint these tractors and restore them. So I'm going to hang my hat on these two are going to be my last two, because I've done between 400 and 500 tractors.
The Tire Grabber is designed with your safety in mind, supporting your heavy lifting jobs with a heavy-duty jack and tire handler duo. For farmers working to lift, change, and repair tires on their home farms, check out the Tire Grabber at thetiregrabber.com.
Well, Dan, our feature item on the show today, a 1969 John Deere 4020. This baby's been restored. It's got the canopy. Holy smokes, what a beautiful rig.
Yeah, it's a nice tractor, Greg. There's been a lot of activity the last couple of days. People driving obviously through the lot and inspecting it. With a lineup out there, a lot of late model equipment. There's a lot of people just drive straight to that 4020, and we know what they've been doing, Pete.
I noticed the same thing, Dan, on the lot there. All the late model tractors, combines, the big monsters, but people are drawn to those 60s and 70s models, aren't they?
Yeah, they sure are. And they've just been increasing in value. It looks like quite a little bit as we go on, especially it looks like the last year or so, they've just been an unbelievable amount of interest in those 4020s.
Yeah, I know on my end, Dan, I think the average auction price on 4020s this year is actually up 14.5%, which is, pretty big jump when you're talking, 50-plus-year-old tractor. But gosh, you guys have sold a ton of them, and the buyer demand just seems like it just keeps going up and up on these 4020s.
Yeah, it sure has, Pete. You'd know better than anybody with the figures and increases in values. I wouldn't have guessed that much, but I guess you're looking at this 4020 and the activity on it and the amount of people that's interested in it, and that's probably a pretty accurate figure.
Yeah, what's been your experience, Dan, with the restored versus original? Now, obviously, people, they go crazy on these 4020s either way, but have you noticed any shift there, or is it really depend on the situation?
Everyone's a little different, Pete. I'd say that, if you had a really nice 4020 that was original and cleaned up and represented itself well and had the right kind of pedigree behind it, I think I'd rather sell that maybe than a restored one. But sometimes if a tractor's in rough enough condition and it needs a restoration, this one's got a canopy on it and kind of checks all the boxes, side console model. So I think that a restoration probably will help this tractor.
Well, Dan, as we've been talking here, I see it, the bidding on this thing just been going crazy. It just wound up at 25.5, but holy smokes, it was like a pinball machine there the last number of minutes here. Wow.
That's just where a lot of people kind of wait till the last minute and they get on, they start bidding, and we'll have people call and say, oh my gosh, my item didn't bring very much. And we're like, just hold on, sit back, have a cup of coffee and relax. This thing's gonna, but yeah, 25.5, just in the last few minutes, it rose that much.
Well, folks, I'll just shoot you straight. In my 32 years tracking the farm equipment market every day, I've never seen a better time to be a seller of good condition used equipment, whether it's low hour or higher hour. The market is just on fire. Of course, the supply chain issue has gummed everything up. Farm equipment dealer lots are thin. Like I say, if you have something to sell, you are in the driver's seat. And if you do have something for sale, why not sell it with your old friend Machinery Pete? We've actually got 2 ways to help you do that. If you're looking to sell privately, you can just click on the Sell Mine link right on machinerypete.com. Only costs $50. We can get your equipment in front of mass eyeballs there. A lot of cases I'm able to even promote it on Facebook and Twitter for you. We're hearing really great results, people moving equipment very quickly, which makes us happy. Now the other option is with our new Machinery Pete monthly online auction. And I tell you, we are seeing some fantastic results here. We worked really hard on this. We expose all the equipment on the auction to 300,000 registered bidders every month. Of course, we also promote it on our new Machinery Pete Auction Edition TV show on RFD TV, across Machinery Pete social media, YouTube, Farm Journal Magazine, AgWeb.com, AgriTalk Radio, US Farm Report, Ag Day TV. So we bring tons of eyeballs to your items. And again, the results we're seeing very strong. In fact, on our November 23rd online auction, this 2015 John Deere 7210R with 8,023 hours on it from Southwest Kansas. This thing sold for $75,250, and that's the highest auction price I've ever seen on any 7210R with over 5,600 hours. And again, this one had over 8,000 hours. So if you got something to sell, folks, give us a call, toll free, 844-727-6374. And our Machinery Pete team will talk to you about your equipment, and then we connect you with our auction partners around the country to get your items listed on our Machinery Pete online auction. And our next sale is Tuesday, December 21st. So give us a call again, 844-727-6374, and sell it with Machinery Pete. Well, what was your favorite tractor on the show today, folks? Maybe that restored 1969 John Deere 4020, big money, 25.5. Or how about that pre-def, pre-tier 4 2008 John Deere 7730 for $148,000, a record auction price by just a country mile. Me, I'm gonna go with that 4455, kind of partial to those. 1990 model, 6,156 hours, still brought $60,000. Now, folks, tune in next week to Machinery Pete TV. We'll have a whole new batch of tractors and a whole new batch of auction prices for you to kick around the coffee shop. See you here next week. Machinery Pete thanks these premier sponsors for their support. Sullivan Auctioneers. Let our team of professionals show you how to make your auction a success. visit sullivanauctioneers.com.